This is Bill and Mike at Highland Hill Farm, and today we're going to discuss a little bit with you about whether you should berm or not to berm.
A berm is a pile of dirt placed on the back of a yard to elevate a certain location. It can be done for many reasons. A chief reason is for privacy and noise barrier. Many people like to put that type of berm in because whatever plant or fence you put on top of it, it elevates that plant, so you get a faster, more instant effect to your landscape. More times than not, when people want to put berms in, they fail to recognize how it will affect the drainage of their backyard. So before you hire anyone to put a berm in or mound dirt anywhere, you should really look at your landscape and when it rains, how the water runs off your property so you don't create ponds and lakes in your backyard.
Mike, in the construction of a berm, can a berm be built that actually does more damage to growing quality nursery stock?
Absolutely. It all depends on how you build the berm. How tall the berm is, how wide it is, what the slope of the berm is. All those have factors that can play out to the growth and quality of the plant that you have on top and even on the growth of the plants next door. If you have an old forest that you're putting this berm into and you pile a lot of dirt on top of those existing roots, say you put 3 foot of dirt on top of it, that will block the airflow of the old tree roots, and therefore with the air being blocked to the roots, those roots suffocate and die. The end result is that you may have a tree that's no longer stable in your backyard just because you put a berm of soil there. Other factors you can take a look at too is that if you have a large slope on your berm and it starts to rain, a lot of times the water runs right off of the berm and doesn't get to the trees that are planted on top. If the slope's not aggressive, then that's not much of a problem. But if you have a high angle, like a 30, 40, or 50 degree angle, you may have problems with keeping the plants atop there watered, especially the first couple years.
When berms are being constructed, can the equipment used to construct a berm damage the soils of the berm that you're building?
Absolutely. If you have heavy machinery running on top of the soil that you're putting down, you can easily compact that soil. A compacted soil is not as good as a soil that's not compacted because of pore space. And that pore space in the soil allows for air movement inside the soil. If you have good air movement inside the soil, you have good root activity because the air movement allows the roots to breathe and also the soil microbes to breathe. For soil is just not dirt or aggregate of clay, silt, or sand. It's a living organism of itself. And if you compact the soil, you block the pore spaces, therefore suffocating the soil microbes and therefore making a poorer soil.
When a contractor is building a berm, can he damage soils leading to the area where the berm is being made?
Yes, he can. That is a possibility. It all depends again on what type of equipment they use. It is possible, but each and every contractor does it a little differently. And before contracting or hiring somebody, you should talk to him about how he's going to perform the job.
When we're building a screen or a buffer on berms, what equipment do we bring to your site to make sure that we don't compact the soils?
We have a variety of types of equipment. It all depends on the type of tree that you're ordering. For a small potted plant, we can carry it 5 foot. If it's a smaller tree, maybe we use a ball cart. If it's a medium-sized tree, we may bring a walk-behind tracked loader. If it's a humongous tree, then we may bring out the big guns and bring out a big piece of equipment. It all depends on what the job is and how big of a tree you're trying to plant.
What are optimum tree sizes to start with on a berm so that you get fast grow out and you get quality tree growth quickly?
That question is a difficult question to answer, because when people are selecting trees, they are selecting trees for a purpose. Typically, we find that a tree that's about 3 foot tall does the best for transplants. However, many times, and in most locations, a 3-foot plant will not suffice and will not do the job. We typically go for a 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8 foot sized plant. And that is a big enough plant to give someone instant privacy so that they don't have to see whoever or whatever they're trying to block. Every now and then we'll go do the bigger trees, such as like the 10 to 12s, and sometimes we do the monster trees up to 20. Typically, the larger the size of the tree, the longer it takes for a transplant shock to go through. And if you're looking for growth after planting, the smaller the tree, the better the growth is afterwards. Again, take into consideration what your purpose is. For if you don't get a big enough plant, you may have to wait a number of years to block or give you some privacy.
If you have any questions about whether to berm or not to berm, you can always call us at 215-651-8329, and we give free information and advice to people on how to construct berms and whether or not they should use a berm. We also give free information on plant types for berms. And we do not build berms. That's not our job, so we're not trying to sell you a berm. But we do sell trees and shrubs and do deliver and plant throughout the eastern United States. Give us a call at 215-651-8329 if you need trees or shrubs for a berm that you're building. Thank you.